After allowing the solvent blended vegetable oil to settle for a few hours to a few days, I then draw off the sludge at the bottom of the tank through this valve, which is at the bottom of the tank, and hopefully you'll be able to see a dark, thick fluid will come out first. And as you can see, it's dark and it's thick. And so far we've got a liter or a quart of sludge coming out. And it looks like it's going to be more than a half a gallon, or 2 liters, 2 quarts. Still coming out fairly thick and fairly black. Now it's lightening up. It's fairly amber colored now. So that was 3 quarts or 3 liters of, or 3/4 of a gallon of sludge that I drained from the bottom of my 20-gallon or 80-liter tank. You can also see that the half-gallon container or 2-liter container that I extracted the sludge from the bottom of the tank, that sludge is very black. No light is transferring through it, and it's pretty thick. It's kind of, let's say, maybe thick as molasses. Okay, so now after processing a tank of fuel, I empty all my traps and filters for processing fuel, and I also empty the last batch of sludge that's been settling. And what I want to do is pour off the top of the sludge containers any relatively clear amber liquid off the top. And so here's one of my sludge containers from the last time I processed fuel, and I'm interested to see if any amber fluid's on the top. And yes, indeed, there's a fair amount of amber fluid, if you can see that. Maybe what I'll do is I'll give you a closer look. Alright. Okay, fairly clear amber fluid pouring off the top of my last sludge container. And last time, 3/4 of the fluid was amber. And it looks like we're going to see the same thing this time around. And I'll just keep pouring until I see a dark stream come out. And it's almost all amber. Relatively clear amber. Oh, it just started running dark. And it's only this much sludge. After only the short period of settling, let's say after about an hour of processing and fuel and putting things away, the sludge containers that I accumulated from this process, which are roughly 1/4 or a liter for 2 traps each, plus 1.5 gallons from the bag, 20-inch bag filter, plus 1 gallon from the 10-inch big clear that I use as a sight glass. And then there was also 2 half-gallon containers, or 4 liters, that were left over from the last batch of sludge that I'd extracted from the last batch of fuel. So out of all that, and with some a little bit of settling, and pouring off the top the clear liquid from my 2 sludge containers from the previous time, which only left about 1/4 of a container full of sludge at the bottom, I ended up with a total of 1.5 gallons or 6 liters of sludge that will sit around settling until the next time I need to process a tank of fuel. And from that, you know, I'll pour off the clear stuff off the top, and so far only a quarter of the container actually ends up being sludge. The rest of it ends up being processed as fuel. So this container is almost full. It's probably a 4-gallon container, and it's, let's say, maybe get 3 gallons or 12 liters of you know, dirty waste vegetable oil blended with gasoline. That's just going to go back in the tank and get processed with the next batch. And of that 3 gallons, I will draw off probably maybe a gallon of sludge off the bottom of the tank.